No one on this planet is a narcissist. That's a huge claim. Before you leave your comments below, before you unfollow me, before you block me, before you attack me, open your mind to what I'm about to share with you. And if you don't have the open mind and you're being quite closed-minded, that's quite narcissistic of you, right? You're being quite stubborn and stuck in your ways. So open your mind, be open to receiving, be open to listening to a different perspective from someone who works with clients every single day in the areas of healing, in trauma, who have been abused by narcissistic people, who have been labeled and diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder themselves. And I work with this shit. I had a father who was quote a narcissist, and my family members still to this day call him that. So I'm very entrenched in this world. So I'd love to share my beliefs around it, how I view it, how I'm able to help people with it, and hopefully empower you to do something about it. So again, trigger warning for this conversation because it's quite a common triggering chat that I've had with a fair few people. I posted a video about it recently on my social media and hundreds of comments. Hundreds of people agreed, which was really cool, and hundreds of people did not. I had heaps of people unfollow me, and that's okay. So if you're open-minded, I think you're going to enjoy this. If you're closed-minded, you're going to hate this. So let's rock and roll. So first of all, the way I view the word narcissist or narcissism or whatever you want to call it, I see it as a bundled term to describe behaviors and traits. Because if I said, what does a narcissist do? You would give me a list of behaviors and traits. They're controlling, they're self-centered, they lack empathy, they're mean, they're manipulative, they're suppressing, they're condescending, they're disrespectful, they're delusional. You would list out all of these behaviors and traits. And then you bucket or categorize them as narcissistic traits. But this is the biggest thing I want you to understand. Every single human being on this planet displays every single character trait. For people that haven't heard of the name Dr. John Demartini, go study his work, go learn from him. He is phenomenal. He did this exercise where he went and researched. He got the biggest dictionary, I think it was the Harvard dictionary, biggest dictionary there is on the planet, and he went through line by line to find every single behavior, personality trait, character trait that human beings can display. And there was 4,628. And he found in his life where he had displayed every single one of them. Let's prove it right now. Lying is a common one that people say narcissists lie a lot. You've lied before. And if you're saying that you haven't, you're lying to yourself. You've lied before. You've been nice before. You've been mean before. You've been condescending before. You've been manipulative before. You've controlled before. You've done every single character trait and behavior that most people categorize or label as narcissistic. So I just want that to sink in for a little bit. And if you are disagreeing to me with what I'm saying, you are disowning. You are suppressing and blocking out parts of yourself, which is a trauma response, which actually ties into where I believe narcissistic traits come from or behaviors are expressed more than others. Because this is the thing. It is not you are or you aren't. It's a spectrum. Because everyone lies, everyone's honest, everyone's nice, everyone's mean, everyone does everything. So it's not 0 or 100. It's not like you do or you don't. It's how often do you? Because is it that you do it 10% that you're a narcissist, or 20%, or 30%, or 40%, or 49%, or 51%, or 80%? What is it? And I've never met a baby who was born and the baby was given the title and born with these things that say this baby is, quote, a narcissist. I haven't seen a baby like that. I've never met one, and neither have you. So at some point, from a doctor or from a therapist or from someone, or from just self-diagnostics, which I don't necessarily agree with either, people have been labeled and given the diagnostics that you are a narcissist, which just means that you display narcissistic traits more than someone else. I actually did a quick little Google search, bit of research before I jumped on this one. I'm sharing my screen right now. If you're listening to this podcast without the video, I'm sharing my screen right now. So I just went through and got some website about Duke Health, and it's what are the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder? And they use this acronym called Special Me. So first one, sense of self-importance. Have you ever had a moment where you were obsessed about your self-importance? You wanted attention, you wanted love, you wanted to be cared for, you wanted to be prioritized, you wanted to be felt to be special? Yes, you fucking have. So there's one, tick that one off. And preoccupation with power, beauty, or success. Have you wanted to be beautiful? Have you wanted to be successful? Have you wanted to be quote powerful, and that's obviously an interpretation of what you interpret power as. But have you wanted to be successful, beautiful, and be successful in your life? Probably. I certainly have. So I'm 2 for 2 so far. Entitled is the third one. Have you ever felt entitled or wanted something and thought you deserved something? Yes, you have. There's 3 for 3. And you go through all of them. Can only be around people who are more important or special. Have you ever wanted to be around people who were motivating, more successful than you, so you can be better? I literally pay money to do that. I pay money to get into masterminds, to get coaches, to get mentors who are more successful than me to help me be better. I pay money to do this shit. Interpersonally exploitive of their own gain. Manipulation, I would put that as manipulation. So you manipulated before. You've manipulated before. So have I. Around sex, around money, around friendships, around work. You've done it before. Arrogant, easy one. Everyone's been arrogant before. Everyone's lacked empathy before. Everyone's wanted to be admired before. And you've been envious of others. I have displayed every single one of those traits on that list. And so have you. So does that make us a narcissist? I don't believe in the fucking label of it. Now, the question is, I think a more empowering question is, why does someone display those traits more than someone else? Because I do agree, there are people who display the trait more than someone else. There's someone who is more delusional. There's someone who's more self-centered. There's someone who lacks more empathy. There's someone who's more self-centered. There's people that they do display it more than someone else. I totally agree with that. Why? Why do they do that? Because that question is more empowering because it gives you power to do something about it. Here's my answer. My answer, it's just based on your conditioning. Every single human being is doing the best of what they have. If you were born, picture someone that you think is quote a narcissist, just put them in your mind right now. If you were born with the same genetics, same epigenetics, you were born to the same family, the same environment, you went through the exact same life experiences that they went through, you'd do the same fucking thing. They're doing the best of what they have. So for me, narcissistic traits are overcompensations of your limiting beliefs and trauma. They're coping mechanisms. If you feel like you're not enough, someone who develops the coping mechanism of trying to get attention and trying to be the center of attention and try to be better than others, that's a coping mechanism from feeling like you're not enough. It's a trauma response. Or there's a belief that you believe you're not enough. You do the same thing. It's beliefs, limiting beliefs, your conditioning, and trauma. And they obviously feed into each other. They overlap each other. That is what creates your patterns and behaviors. So when I see someone, and I have this shit every fucking day, I work with people every day who have either been, quote, abused by a narcissist. I'm going to show you someone in a moment, a client of mine who was sexually abused for 5 years from her dad and was able to heal through that using one of my processes, which includes owning the trait, which I'll get to later. Where was I going with that? And I also have helped clients who have come to me and said, I've been diagnosed as a narcissist. I want help. So I've dealt with both sides, the quote victims and the quote narcissists themselves. Now, the reason I'm quite passionate about this in terms of the label, now you can use the label if you want. I got nothing against it. Go use it. If it helps you categorize someone, so if you use the term to categorize someone who displays the traits more than someone else, go for it. I got nothing wrong with that. Go for it. It's your life. Go at it. This is the challenge I have with labels, though. Your labels, the beliefs that you have, you make them true. It becomes a limiting belief. It becomes a glass ceiling. Your ego is the identity of who you view yourself to be. It's all of your beliefs, your perceptions, your memories, your traumas, all of it. And your ego has 2 main traits. Number 1, it avoids pain. That's why you want to avoid talking about your insecurities, your traumas, your triggers, all that stuff. Second, it reinforces itself. If you believe you're depressed, you're going to literally make that true. This is crazy. Go study Dr. Bruce Lipton. He has a book called The Biology of Belief. Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. John Demartini, they're my top 3 mentors when it comes to like healing, inner work, and all this stuff. But your beliefs change your biochemistry. Literally. If you think something, believe something, have a perception on something, it will literally shift your biochemistry. That's fucking insane. If you believe you're depressed, your biochemistry shifts to be depressed. So it's chicken and egg, which comes first? So this is where I'm getting at with the labels. For me, labels create a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you're a narcissist because some motherfucker's given you a label of it, you then look for things to reinforce that you're a narcissist. And it becomes a very vicious fucking cycle. It's like if you believe you're not enough, you're going to make it true. If you believe you're a piece of shit, you're going to make it true. If you believe you're not good with money, you're going to make it true. If you believe you're broken, you're going to make it true. This is why one of the key things I work with people is beliefs. We want to find those limiting beliefs and get rid of them. It's just like programming on a computer. Like I said, conditioning, everyone's doing the best of what they have. If you've got a computer or a phone and you have a virus on it, which means the phone keeps shutting down, not working properly, sabotaging itself. That's what beliefs do. So, quote, a narcissist just has conditioning, beliefs, unhealed trauma, which is resulting in them displaying those traits more than someone else. I hope this is landing. I hope this is making sense, because it makes sense to me, but I'm like in this world. So just hopefully you're picking up what I'm throwing down. And this is just another side note when it comes to disorders, because I had this client, and this is the part that really got me when I'm like, fuck, I just don't agree with your belief. I was open to hearing it. So I had a reasonable conversation with this person, which was really cool. I did a post about this conversation. Heaps of people got triggered by it. And some people messaged me, and I'm open to it. Let's have a chat. I'm happy to share my thoughts on it. But this was the part I just totally disagreed on. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but she pretty much said, someone who is a narcissist can never change. I fucking hate that. I don't agree with that. That's essentially saying if you get labeled that you're a narcissist from some motherfucker who's just given you a diagnostics, it means you're fucked forever and you can never change. What a great life to have, right? What a great empowering fucking belief to have. Because if you've heard of neuroplasticity, everything can be changed. Anyone can heal. Anyone can change. I fucking believe that. And I've had people who are the most broken people, who are the narcissistic people, fucking change. Anyone can change. So the label becomes the limitation. Labels are limiting. That's why I'm quite passionate about it, because that one sentence was like, that's so shit. That is so shit. If I give you a label and you believe it and you then don't change it because you don't hear shit like me, people like me talking about it, you've then signed up for a lifetime of limitations. What a great fucking life to live, right? Great. How do I sign up to your mastermind? How do I sign up to your podcast, right? Sign me up for that program. It is such a limiting way to live. That's why I totally reject that belief. And there's people like Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. John DeMartini, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's passed away. Heaps of people who prove this shit. Who have, because I haven't got like the science and all the data and stuff to back it. I just know the traits, behaviors, and how to execute on it and get the results for people. If you want the data, go fucking study those people. Go read the book, The Biology of Belief. Go read the book, Becoming Supernatural, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I've got some other ones that I can send through. The Breakthrough Experience by Dr. John DeMartini. Go read that shit and you will know that anyone can change. So that's like the biggest thing I have against the label, that if you have it, you're fucked forever. I completely reject that. I don't subscribe to that belief. Anyways, I hope you guys are feeling my passion on this one. So let's summarize this. I believe narcissists are just human beings who display the same traits that you display. They just display them more than someone else. Where do they come from? They're coming from their conditioning, their beliefs, their unhealed traumas, their perceptions. You can fix that. You can heal that. You can change that. Anyone can change if you're willing to change. You can't make a horse drink when it comes to inner work. You got to be willing to do it. And I've had people who have been through the most fucked up stuff from, quote, a narcissist, and who has been labeled as a narcissist, who have been willing to do the work. And then I had the conversation on that same post. Well, a narcissist a quote, true narcissist would never reach out to help. I agree that someone who has those traits more than someone else, and I'll just use the label of narcissist for this video, someone who is, quote, a narcissist would be less likely. They're less likely to reach out for help. They're less likely to change. But in my experience, everyone can change. And I would love for someone to prove me wrong, that someone cannot change. Because Joe Dispenza has transformed. I'm going to share with one in a moment. I might share it right now, actually. So I'm sharing my screen again. So this is one of my clients. She's in my conscious community. I'll talk about that later. And she posted it in the community, so she's happy with it being public. So she was sexually abused from her dad from the ages of 5 to 9 years old. And she was so afraid of him because she had to protect our little secret. Now, you can pause the video if you want to read the whole thing. It's quite a big post, so I won't read the whole thing. But let me just read some of the key things. Listen to this. To say I love my dad is something I never thought could ever be possible, considering I was bedridden 8 years ago in so much pain. Yes, it's been a tough 30 plus years I've spent in trauma therapy, but I am so full of gratitude writing this in this moment. So just to give you a bit of context on what I just said. So she spent 30 years in trauma therapy, never cracked it, wasn't able to fully close the loop and heal it. One process with me, because my processes are fucking epic if you ever do them, and she cracked it. And she got to a point where she said she's grateful and she loves her dad for doing that to her, for her. That's hard to understand until you go through it. And I've had clients go through other shit like that, and you get to that point. Because anyone can heal. Anyone can, if you're willing to. If you're not willing to, I'm not here to... You got to be ready. If you're ready to change, I got you. I'm here for you. So those are my beliefs. So here's a thing I want to leave you with as well. This ties into trauma, judgment, resistance, all the thing. Please understand this, because this is an invitation for you. If you're someone who's attracting narcissists into your life, please understand this part. Whatever traits and behaviors, which we call narcissistic traits and behaviors, whatever traits and behaviors that you have resistance towards, you judge them, you disown them, you don't like them, you think they're wrong, they were painful to you, until you fully integrate and heal the wounds of those traits, you keep attracting them. Do this little exercise with me now. I do this all the time in my videos. Think of someone you don't like. Okay, well, just think of a narcissist, actually. Think of someone that you've had in your life that, quote, is a narcissist, that you've had experience with, whether it's a parent, a sibling, a partner, an ex-partner, a child, a mother, a parent, doesn't matter. Think of someone who you think, quote, is a narcissist, or maybe you think differently now from this podcast. Just think of that person that you don't like. Now, in one word, what is the behavior or character trait that you dislike most about that person? And don't say narcissism, it's too broad. What's the specific behavior? Do they lie? Do they control? Do they manipulate? Do they condescend? Are they rude? Are they mean? What is it? Find the word to describe it. Now, do that for your whole life, by the way. Find the things you have resistance towards. Whatever word you came up with, let's use manipulation as an example. Whatever traits and behaviors you have resistance towards, pay attention. You, one, will try to run away from them. What you run away from, you run into. So you're going to end up attracting them into your life. Yes, you attract your unhealed trauma and traits you haven't integrated yet into your life, especially your relationships. That's why you keep attracting fucking narcissists, quote narcissists, into your life, because you haven't healed from the pain and the resistance that you have towards those behaviors and traits. So number one, you're going to run away from them and end up actually running into them and attracting them into your life. Number two, you'll get triggered by them. When you see someone doing that behavior or doing that trait, it will trigger you. That will then activate a coping mechanism. And there's many coping mechanisms you can develop. You might become a people pleaser. You might disassociate. You might eat food. You might smoke a cigarette. You might overwork. You might have to be an overachiever. There's many things that you can do. Be conscious of what yours are. So you'll run away from it, end up attracting it. You'll get triggered by it. It will activate a coping mechanism. And the fourth part, you will beat yourself up and shame yourself when you do this trait, because every human being does every single trait. I guarantee it. If you're courageous enough and willing to be held accountable to look for it. So when you end up doing it, because it's a bad trait and you don't like the trait and you've got resistance to the trait, you're going to shame yourself. And then you'll try keep this part of you a secret. Now, I'm going off topic, but I'll bring it back. Self-growth and self-development, or self-love, call it what you want, is learning to love all parts of yourself. So these traits of narcissists that you don't like, or behaviors of narcissists, they're a part of you that you haven't learned to love yet. That's pretty deep if you understand what I just fucking said. Your perception of me is a projection of you. The things that you don't like, which are just behaviors and traits, which we then categorize as narcissistic, those are parts of you haven't learned to love yet. You disown them. You try to keep it a secret. And then you shame yourself and beat yourself up when you do it. And you keep attracting it and you get triggered by it. Then you have coping mechanisms off the back end of it. Welcome to inner work. I hope that motivates you to do it, to work through it. Because let's wrap this up. What can someone do, whether they're attracting narcissists or they actually are doing these narcissistic traits more than they want to? Find the behaviors, the character traits that you have resistance to, because that's all, quote, narcissistic behavior is. Find those specific traits and heal them. Do a process on them. My balancing process is how we do that. That client, Kel, that I just showed you, she did the balancing process to heal through that. Do a healing process on that, because until you do, you're going to keep attracting it because you're trying to run away from it. You're going to continue to get triggered by it. You're going to continue to have coping mechanisms off the back end of it. And you'll continue to shame yourself and beat yourself up when you eventually do it. I hope that all made sense. This was a big ramble. I hope you got some value from this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you totally disagree with me, that's okay. But this is my invitation to wrap this up. We choose our beliefs. You can, I sent a video to someone who disagreed with my video that I posted on social media. I said, no dramas. Here's a video of where my beliefs came from. It's a video of Dr. John DeMartini, where he teaches this in a bit more detail, or his views on it anyways. And she says, well, that's just one doctor's opinion. I don't agree. I said, You're absolutely right. You don't have to. But the thing is, we choose our beliefs. So you can choose whatever beliefs you want to. The question is, which ones empower you, which ones limit you? Because you choose your beliefs unconsciously for most of your life until you wake up and start doing inner work and healing and all the stuff. And then you choose which ones you want to keep. Because what you're not changing, you're choosing to keep. So I just said politely, no dramas. I totally agree. It's just one person's opinion, one person's beliefs. But you get to choose your beliefs. Which ones are going to empower you? Which ones are going to limit you? That's my invitation to you. I hope you got some value from this. Let me know your thoughts below. Please share this with a friend if you got some value. If you're interested in working with me to do the inner healing work, find your purpose, heal through your triggers, your traits, so you stop attracting a narcissistic person into your life, so you stop shaming yourself and all the other things that go into it, how to build a conscious, beautiful relationship, how to make money doing what you love. All of my services are down below. I have a book. It's on Amazon, Kindle, Audible. It's called The Inspired Life Method. I have a conscious community. There's a free 7-day trial, and it comes with a one-on-one call with me when you join. I'd love to have you in there. And I'm also running in-person events in Australia in 2025 if you'd like to join me. I hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed this. Love to hear your thoughts down below. Have a great day. See ya.